So I just got all my stuff done, and I was kind of sitting here thinking about, like how important discipline is in life. And, what I want to say by that is, like, if you follow discipline, it's going to be very easy for you to become successful. It could take you, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, a year, 2 years. It literally doesn't matter. But if you stay locked into that discipline, like, you are literally guaranteed to become successful. And a lot of people, they hang around the same friends that they had 2 years ago. The people that struggle with lust, that go out and drink every night, party, and they wonder why they don't see change. Like, brother, how do you expect things to change if you don't change anything around you? Like, you have to change your environment, you have to change your friend group, you have to change so much if you want to see results and success in your life, because it's not going to happen otherwise for you. And a lot of the people that struggle with lust, a lot of the time they just have a lot of free time on their hands. They wake up and the first thing that they do is they grab their phone and they see if their favorite, OF model uploaded something. Like, brother, you really think that's going to make you successful? Like, if you want to see success, you have to do things that are going to become, eventually a habit that'll lead you to that success. Like, you have to wake up and you have to thank God for, a new day. You have to read your Bible. You have to do certain things every day that'll help you. Discipline is so, so important. And if you're somebody that struggles with lust, brother, it's literally as simple as unfollowing that OF model. It's as simple as deleting Instagram, deleting TikTok. Like, if you are serious about your goals, if you are serious about discipline, if you are serious about bettering your life, you will literally do anything that it takes to, make that happen. So, if you struggle with lust, like, look at your day. You probably have a lot of free time on your hands. And, literally all you have to do is just talk to God and get busy. Like, start, going to the gym, start building a business, start doing things that are actually going to help better your life, instead of waking up and, checking if your favorite OF model uploaded something. Because, brother, that is going to keep you in the same spot, that you were 2 years ago. Like, you're not going to do the same things and, see different things happen. You have to make change for things to change. Like, there's no change without change. Like, a lot of people say that. And, like, for me personally, I'll talk about how discipline played a big role in my life. Like, for example, I grew up very, very fat, like, horrendously fat. And, I was able to change my body. I grew up in a family that wasn't wealthy. So, I didn't go to college, but, I made, with God's help, and discipline, I made things happen. Like, obviously it's God's help as well, but, it says in the Bible that God blesses working hands. So, if you're not putting in any work in any area of your life, you're not going to see that change. So, when I was in high school, I always, I never knew what I wanted to do. Like, for example, for me personally, like, I would talk to people and they would tell me, oh, I want to be a firefighter. I want to be, a pilot. I want to be this and that. But for me, even senior year of high school, last day of high school, graduation, I still didn't know what I wanted to do. And like I said, I didn't grow up in a wealthy family, so I didn't go to college. And, I messed around. So I, graduated with a super low GPA, no scholarships available for this guy. So, I literally graduated high school not knowing what I'm going to do with my life. But, I got a job working at a company doing aviation refinement, and I worked for him for 2 years, and then I started my own business. And I always had these prayers, like, God, I would love to be successful. I would love to drive nice cars. I would love to live in a nice neighborhood. I would love all these things if you could just make it happen. And, back then I didn't really believe in God, but I was still saying these prayers. And I have a feeling that they really, really helped form my life, because, like I always tell people, like, my success is attributed to God. Like, obviously God's not going to bless you if you're not putting any work, but God is going to open doors for you if he sees you, trying, doing your best, changing your life, putting in that discipline, cutting off those bad habits. Like, brother, there's literally no way you could keep eating garbage, like, over and over again in life and not, eventually become successful. Like, and when I say eating garbage, I don't mean like physically eating junk food or anything. I mean, like, just bad situations in your life. Like, if you, go through with that discipline and, you keep bettering your life every single day, like, God will eventually bless you. Because, like I said, there's no way that you could keep eating, garbage just over and over again every single day and, things don't change. Like, if you keep putting in that discipline, putting in that effort, putting in that hard work, like, you're literally going to become successful. And, like I said, if you're somebody that struggles with lust, literally just get busy. Like, delete Instagram, unfollow those models if you don't want to delete Instagram. Put in the discipline to not go look at that, stuff. And, just get busy. Start bettering your life physically. Start bettering your life mentally, emotionally, with God. Start a business. And if you don't have that business mindset, literally become the best person that you can at your job. Like, brother, I'm not sitting here preaching to you to start a business. Like, not everybody is meant to run a business, because without employees there would obviously be no businesses. So, if you enjoy your job, you just literally get better at it. Focus fully on that. Focus on God, and, become the best person that you can be, because that's how you're going to become successful. And, like I said, for me personally, when I graduated high school, I had no idea what I want to do with my life. And, I'm super grateful to God that I was able to get this job. And, since that's all I knew, literally that's what I ran with. Like, I didn't know anything else. I don't know anything about, I mean, I know about business now, but back then I didn't know anything about business. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I was just, lost and, had no clue what direction my life is going to go. So, after I worked for him for 2 years, I started my own business. And, it was very difficult at first because for the first years, he was threatening me with lawyers, lawsuits, this and that, just talking really bad about me to some companies in the areas as well. And, it was difficult for me to get clients, but, I stuck with that discipline. And, 2 years later, I got a huge job that, pretty much changed my life. It's a contact that I have now that, I service, pretty often. And, I'm grateful to God that, my life turned out the way that it did. So, like, brother, it literally doesn't matter if you, don't know what direction your life is going in right now, if you have no interest in anything. Literally just pick something. If you like working on, behind a computer, start an online business. If you like working with your hands, start a business that, you work with your hands. Like, you could start aviation refinement, what I do. It literally does not matter. Like any business, if you put in the discipline and the hard work, you're gonna see results. Because I've noticed from my life personally, anytime I put in a full effort into something, whether that's business, whether that's physically, spiritually, like I always reap something. So it literally does not matter what you decide to start. And if you want to learn a little bit more about aviation refinement, what I do, if you want to take it seriously, you could look at my other YouTube videos. I tell you exactly how to start it. But if you want more one-on-one help, you could, shoot me a message on Instagram. We could talk about it. We have a training program available for people that are actually wanting to take it seriously and want to see results, more quickly, because there's a lot of things that, go into this business that you can't find online. So we teach everybody how to do that. So if you're interested in learning aviation refinement, just message me on Instagram, watch my other YouTube videos, and, we could see if it's the right fit for you. But even if you don't want to do aviation refinement and you like working with your hands, like, brother, that is not a problem. You literally go start a landscaping company. You could start anything, like literally so many businesses that you could start. And there's also people that, if you're interested in online businesses, there's people that could teach you how to do that as well. Like, as long as you find the right person, somebody that is actually, has become successful from running that business, you could start any business. Like, literally just log in. Like, with discipline, you're going to see results. And, like, what's crazy to think about is, I'm pretty sure the statistic is that, 80 or 90% of people quit their New Year's resolution the third week into the new year. Like, brother, it is literally the quarter of, the first quarter of 2026 is almost over. And if you kept that discipline, if you kept that drive, if you haven't given up on your goals, like, you are guaranteed to become successful. Because, if you think about it, somebody literally quit their New Year's resolution the first day because they woke up hungover. Like, if you made it this far, brother, literally just keep going. Like, keep putting in that discipline, keep putting God first, put aside lust, put aside those friends that don't help better your life, and you're gonna see results.